When you see beautiful imagery of the Maine coastline, a lot of people, especially those who travel, immediately think of popular places like Acadia National Park. But if you look past these areas, you can almost always find geography that rivals the national parks without actually going to the national park. There's miles and miles of cobblestone beaches and moss-lined trails, and in the heart of it, a very small and quaint fishing village that seems to run its own clock. Lubec is the easternmost village in the U.S., and quite possibly the most underrated travel destination. Situated directly on the border of Canada and the United States, it's the farthest northeast that you can go in the contiguous United States. You won't find any theaters, fast food restaurants, shopping plazas, or even a stoplight here. But what you will find is a charming coastal setting, peace and quiet, unique, unaffected character, and rugged natural beauty. In this episode, we're going to share with you a ton of things that you can do in Lubec, Maine. So to understand Lubec, I guess you have to kind of understand what this place is known for. What this place is known for is smoked fish. This was like the smoked fish capital of the United States. At one point, they were shipping over 1 million cans a year out to the entire country, especially during World War II. At the peak of the fishing industry here, there were over 20 smokehouses and over 30 canneries all along the coast.
And this is not a big place. It's not a big town. So to imagine that there were that many of these places operating at the same time is unbelievable.
And like only one survived. Up until 1991, McCurdy Smokehouse was the very last smokehouse in the entire United States. They stopped operations in 1991. It depends who you ask on why they stopped. A lot of them will say government regulations came in. You couldn't cold smoke fish anymore. Some people say that foreign fleets were to blame, but really just people stopped eating canned smoked fish, and so it just began a gradual decline. Yeah. So you can visit McCurdy Smokehouse. They've turned it into a museum. They have some of the original employees who worked at McCurdy's are actually the tour guides there.
They are former employees,
Yep.
So they understand what everything is, how it worked. They can walk you through a whole day's process and let you know exactly what happened in which part of the building.
The entire place is frozen in time. And in fact, the son of Arthur McCurdy, who opened it up, when he had to shut it down in 1991, he was so mad when he left, this is what one of the employees was saying, that he just shut the door and put the padlock on it and left all the tools. So a lot of this place is exactly as it was
The day they closed.
It's bizarre. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about like the history and amount of time and effort and the amount of families that this place supported throughout the many years of its operation. There's many parts of the smokehouse that aren't there anymore. They have been washed away by past storms. There was one ice storm that came in a few years ago and took one of pieces of the smokery and put it across the Lubec Narrows onto Campobello Island, which is in Canada. And it was a big international affair. As soon as the shed ended up over there, they started getting chainsaws out and they started chopping it up into pieces. They had to call the mounted police to go over there and to stop all the stuff that was happening. They could never get it back.
No, people from McCurdy's went over there like on a rescue mission. They were trying to get their building back, and it just didn't happen.
A lot of the original stuff is still there and it's falling apart, but they need your help. They're taking donations. They have a store. You can go on there and buy t-shirts and stuff. There you go. So they really need your help with donations. They need to raise quite a bit of money to continue saving and preserving the very last fish smokehouse in the entire country. So it's definitely worth your stop. It should be at the top of your list of stops to make when you come through Lubec, Maine.
Definitely check it out, and I'm sure the website itself has some amazing information.
Yes, we'll put the website below so you can go check it out for yourself. Another thing you can do is watch seals at the Fishermans Memorial. We're so far north. It's kind of, not surprising to see the seals, but when it's not something you see all the time, it's kind of cool.
Right. And they have neat little binoculars built in, so it's pretty neat. You know, the seals didn't come up super close while we were there, but you can see them with the binoculars. The
memorial is a pretty powerful place. It lists 105 names of fishermen who have lost their lives on the sea since the 1900s in this specific area. It was a brainchild of a resident, Shelley Tinker, in 2017, and they made it happen. So you can get your coffee. There's a coffee shop right in the area, the same general facility. You can get your coffee. You can go through the memorial. Then you can sit and watch all the seal activity. Once you're done watching the seals and you've worked up an appetite, you can go down to HD and Sons to get some seafood there.
Sure thing.
Sure Thing is the name of the place. When we went, it didn't look very busy. In fact, it almost looked closed.
Right.
But even when you walk in, there's just nothing overly amazing about this place. It just is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the unique part of it all. The food's really good.
It was really good. It was. Everybody ordered their own thing again. Got a crab meat roll, fish and chips. We did the fried shrimp.
Haddock burger for Max.
Haddock burger.
That thing was freaking huge.
Holy moly. Giant piece of fish that happened to be in a hamburger bun.
It was very lightly breaded. It was very good. Very good fish. The haddock was good. The cod was good with the fish and chips. And so it's definitely a cool place to go check out. Mowry Beach Preserve. This preserve is really nice. There's a big boardwalk that goes all the way through. You can walk out onto the beach. You can see the tides come in and out.
That part was cool. The boardwalk is, you know, it's so-so, and maybe it's more interesting different times of the years, you know, if things are blooming, but definitely go out to the beach. That was the cool part. The day we went at low tide, and then we went back at high tide. And to see that difference was amazing.
It's pretty crazy because you can walk all the way out in low tide, almost out to the lighthouse that's out there.
Right.
And then to come back at high tide and see that the water covering everything, like it's truly amazing how much of a tidal change there actually is. Pretty cool place to go see the tidal change in Lubec. Klondike Mountain. This is a pretty fun place. I mean, there's not really much to it. It's very small. I guess one man was responsible for planting a lot of the trees that are in the arboretum part of it, but you walk through that part and then you have a trail that goes up to a small summit. Like, it's a very small summit.
Very, yeah.
It's more like a hill, but you get surrounding views of the waters and the bay and stuff, so it's a pretty cool place to go check out because you're almost guaranteed to find nobody else there. So we're gonna start getting to the good stuff now. Cutler Bold Coast Trail. All along the coast of Maine is known as the Bold Coast. You'll find tons of trails, tons of hikes. One of these was the Cutler Bold Coast Scenic Trail. The trail was very muddy. It was a long walk all the way back, and then when you finally got along the coast, it didn't open up very many times.
Right.
I don't know. If you had to pick and choose like which trail to go to, I would skip this one and instead go to Quoddy Head State Park.
Yeah, if you had to choose between the two, Quoddy Head is, in my opinion, the better.
Yeah, this had some amazing trails and amazing views. The rocky cliffs. I mean, it looks like the coast of Oregon. That trail was muddy.
It was so muddy. So muddy. And it got to a point in our hike where we decided we were putting more effort into watching where our feet went, that it was taking away from the hike a little bit. You know, we weren't really getting to take in what was around us.
But there's an amazing lighthouse there. Built in 1870. It's candy striped. It's amazing, and it has the most eastern point in the United States.
Right.
So it has a big plaque there. You can't go any far east. It's the edge of America. So the Boothead Preserve Trail. This place was really cool. It's a 400 or 700 acre plot of land rescued by the Maine Heritage Trust Fund in 1988. They were going to put like a 30 to 40 subdivision lot on this entire thing. And they came in and they saved it. And they put up some trails there, and now it's preserved for forever, for future generations to enjoy. The hike was amazing.
I think this was my favorite hike And not even so much where you end up. It's not even the views. It's the hike itself, because you're going through bogs.
Yeah.
And they're working really hard to preserve this land. So to make that happen, they make these boardwalks, and it's almost like just half a log. And you have this path that's surrounded by these bogs that you have to stay on. And it was fun.
It's one of those places where like the journey is better than the destination of this hike. But the entire place was absolutely beautiful. Moss everywhere.
Right.
Great views. You can take this trail down to a beach, a cobblestone beach, and there you can watch the tides come in and out again. So great place to be. Great place to hike. All kinds of amazing places. There's tons of hiking to do around here, but I think the coolest thing was the smokehouse. I mean, it kind of adds to the whole character and feel of the area. So, and
then you walk through and they have pictures from, old pictures of people working there. So you kind of get a feel for it makes it more human. Yeah,
there's a connection to this place. It will suck you in. I think once you come here, you may not want to leave. It kind of runs on its own clock, as I was saying. Our home base for the week is at Sunset Point RV Park. This RV park was very tight, but everyone has a view. It's very designed in a very specific way that in front of where you're parked, there's 10 people. Everyone has a view of some type of water there. The ladies that run it are very nice.
They are.
You do have to call and book the place, which is not a big deal. It's not full hookups, it's just water and electric, but it stayed relatively quiet.
It did. Even with people coming in and out, it was one of those places where we figured, okay, come Monday, this place is going to empty out. It didn't.
Right.
Some people left, but more people come. But it did stay very quiet.
Yeah. So we highly recommend this place. It puts you in great proximity to see everything. I mean, you're 4 or 5 minutes down from the village of Lubec. You're 5-10 minutes down from the lighthouse, and you're 20 minutes from the Copscook State Park areas.
And you're minutes from the border.
Right.
You were going up into Canada.
Yeah, you could take that bridge like right over. I think this is somewhere that we're gonna end up coming back to. There's a little piece of my heart that got left in Lubec. I'm not sure why. It's the character of the area. It's just very laid back, very cozy. There's so much stuff to do outside, which is one of the greatest things about this whole area.
Right.
And it's got this history and this character.
It's got a story to tell. That's my favorite thing about these towns, is there's a life to it.
So from here, we're going to Acadia. So if you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week.